Hi everybody, it's Gwen for Tabby and another video about tarot and the Tree of Life. Sometimes I just like to look at my beautiful tarot cards. I like to admire the artwork, look at the colors, look at the symbolism, and see if there's something that I hadn't noticed before. Is there something new in the card that I had never seen before? That's really fun. And when I do, sometimes I go to the Tree of Life to see if what I've noticed corresponds with what's happening on the Tree of Life. Now, the other day, I was thinking about the Three of Cups. And the way that this card is usually interpreted is as three women celebrating their friendship and the abundance of their friendship. And I really like that interpretation of this card. It looked like three women dancing or toasting each other. If you look a little bit more closely, you think, well, maybe there's something else going on besides that, because if you look at their cups, for example, they're not actually touching each other. They're not actually toasting. And if you compare this to the Tree of Life, you see right away that the three cups are arranged in the position of the top three Sephiroth, Keter, Chokmah, and Binah. And that's probably not a coincidence. And so if I look a little bit more at the card, I started looking at this woman in her red robes in the middle. And I thought, I'm sure I've seen those robes somewhere else in tarot. So I looked at the Two of Wands, I looked at the Three of Wands. I thought, it's not exactly right. There's nothing there that seems to associate those cards. So I looked again at her arms, and she's got her right arm raised up, and she's got her left arm pointing down to earth. So if you turn her around, she's positioned exactly like the Magician. So what does that mean? Well, if we look at the Three Cups, if you look at the Three of Cups in the Thoth Tarot, the name of that card is Abundance. So like the Magician is raising up his right hand to channel divine lightning from heaven to earth, channeling that magic down to earth. Maybe that's what this woman is doing in this card. Is she and the other two are holding up their cups to receive abundance and bring it down to earth. If you look at the woman in white, I do think that she is a spiritual figure, because if you look at the way that her dress is arranged, it's not like the other two where you can't see her feet, you can't see that she's dancing. It's kind of curved underneath her, like maybe she's floating. So I think she is a representation of spirit. And particularly because the woman in red, who we can say the Magician here, she seems to be holding on to this, or maybe that's what she is channeling down in her left hand. The Magician is pointing to the earth because he's channeling this divine lightning, magic, and maybe this woman is channeling the spirit, because we're in cups after all, so a very spiritual suit. So maybe that's what's happening here. And one more interesting thing, if you look at who is holding which cup, you can see their arms cross. And the woman in white is the one who's holding the top cup, the one that would represent Keter. So that's all very interesting. And if you can look at the direction that the other women are holding their cups and where they would be on the Tree of Life, and maybe who that means they are. And think about the colors a little bit on the Tree of Life. But it is quite interesting to make these connections. And of course, what really confirmed all of this for me is that when you look at the Tree of Life, the path of the Magician comes down from Keter to Binah, and Binah is where all the threes reside. So there is a direct connection on the Tree of Life between these two, which makes me think that maybe I'm onto something. So I hope that was interesting, and I will see you in the next video.